today.
Thank
And
you.
then, so I'm hoping tonight you're going to get all the information you need to kick off your career in business analysis. And so a bit about myself. So my name is Tutu Shweto, and I'm the founder of Dwelling at Ease UK. So the main aim for founding Dwelling at Ease is to help as many individuals gain their voice, gain the skills that are required for them to excel in the area of skills they desire. So one of the things we've introduced to our training package, apart from the career strategies that we offer, we've introduced a number of training programs which include data governance, data architecture, and then business analysis is just one of them. And we have data analysis, and then we have the project management support course as well, which is the PMO. So another thing I do, so myself, I have over 20 years of experience. I'll move to the next page so you can see my background. So I have over 20 years of experience working within different sectors. So I've worked in the investment bank, I've worked in hospitality, I've worked with NHS and some other organizations as well before founding Dwelling at Ease. So the main purpose of this is to give as many individuals every knowledge, all the knowledge that are required for them to excel in their career path as well. So I'm passionate about helping people to unlock their full potentials and allow them to achieve their professional and supporting and helping them to achieve their professional goals. So I have various certifications myself. I'm currently a cybersecurity consultant, and then I've got CISA, AWS engineer, and I'm also a certified network security as well, Scrum Master certified, and a trained business analyst as well. So I've worked within different roles from delivery management, from project management, test management, and some other roles as well. So I'm just helping as many people that are coming into IT that do not know where to start, support them to get all the right skills they require across the line. So that's basically all about me. You can see all the places I've worked as well. So I've worked in various organizations ranging from HSBC, New York Stock Exchange, JP Morgan, Barclays, before moving to hospitality industry and education industry as well. So that's all about me. Do you have any question as well to ask before I go ahead?
No questions.
All right, thank you. Let's get right into it as well. So today, I'm going to give you an overview of what business analysis is all about. And because today is just the introductory bit, so if you want to go into full details of all the skills and all the training you need to get a role as a business analyst, then I'm going to go right into that. So I'm going to go into what business analysis history is, the history of business analysis, and all the skills that are required for you to become an efficient business analyst. And for your guest as well, I know your guest is looking at all the training and certification that are required for him to kick off a role as a business analyst as well. So I'm going to go into that, and I'm going to tell you how to become a business analyst as well. I'm going to give you an introduction of what the role of a business analyst is, and then you choosing a business analyst as a profession. Because what happens, what I found out in the past is majority of people are already working as a business analyst. They're doing some documentation, they're doing some stakeholders management, and all of those are the skills that are wrapped up in business analysis. And I know Yogesh and Michael, you have banking background like myself. So I have a lot of banking background, and I have a lot of hospitality background, as well as government organization background. So I've been able to move around industry. So I believe today you are in the right place if you're going to go further into the full training. But today I'm just going to give you an introductory part of what business analysis is all about. Going into it, so what does business analysis mean to you? I know, Michael, you said you've done a lot of research about what business analysis is all about. So do you really want to give me an example of what a business analyst position entails?
Yeah, so obviously there are like different roles in business analysis, but basically the main fundamentals of what they actually do is them analyzing the processes of businesses and helping them improve them and helping them stay sustainable in what they actually do as a business in order to make profits and all of that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you a yeah that's good. That's a good example. I'm gonna deep down into the detail as well. So Yogesh, I'm not sure. I wanted the session to be as interactive as much as
Yeah.
possible. I don't want to be speaking to you, but the more we talk, the more you try to get an insight of what the role is all about in general. So yes, so Yogesh, what does business analysis mean to you? Because business analysis means different things to everybody
Yeah,
as
so
well.
what is my understanding and more from a bird eye view, basically, if you see any organization, they have multiple departments. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, the department which fetch the revenue is basically a business department, and they are the one who upfront or confront the clients and they bring the money on a table, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so those department would require a kind of an analysis or a staff who can engage more into a conversation and manage a multiple stakeholders, as well as along with the managing external stakeholder, they also have to take care of the internal stakeholder, because they have to portray the entire SOPs or KOPs, that this is how it's going to function and this is how we are generating a revenue. Parallelly, we have a cost which would be managed which has to be balanced out. So that is the business analytical roles come in, and they pitch in there and they try to um, emphasize and streamline the entire process.
Okay. Oh, that's a good explanation. That's a good one. So I'm going to put some more context into that now. So here, if we look at the overall definition of what the International Institute of Business Analysis has said, so what they're saying is business analysis is a practice of enabling a change in the context of an enterprise by defining the needs and recommending solutions that deliver values to stakeholders. So what does that mean? It's so the role of a business analysis is about analyzing the whole organization and looking at the organization and saying, okay, in which area of the organization do we want to improve? How do we improve it? What do we need to do to improve that part of the organization? And how do we provide a better value to our customer, to our client? So it's a process of review the overall process within an organization, looking for the area of improvement and providing solution and the processes and procedures into improving that particular process. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you an example. There's this illustration I always love to use. If you remember the mobile phone, before we started having banking, online banking mobile app, for you to transfer money to somebody, for you to pay money or transfer money into somebody's account, you have to physically go into the bank and said, okay, you want to transfer money, you tell the cashier does the transaction for you. So someone somewhere, they reviewed the overall processes and said, okay, how can we provide a better value to our customers? And someone came up with the idea of, okay, why can't we have a mobile banking facility that would allow our client to transfer money using their mobile phone by creating a mobile app? So the process of getting to that stage of somebody coming saying, okay, what are the options? What are the things we can do? Is an analysis phase. So in the nutshell, business analysis is a practice of enabling a change. So the process of providing a mobile application or online application for users or for customers to transfer money is a change within an organization, within the banking industry, right? And then someone will be employed to define the needs and recommend the solution on how to deliver value to the banking customers. So by giving the banking customers the possibility of them being able to transfer and do the basic banking transaction in the comfort of their own home is an analysis stage. So someone who is in charge of doing those analysis is regarded as a business analyst. Have you seen the overall picture of what a role of a business analyst is in an organization?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the role of a business analyst. I'll go to the next stage. So in terms of the way the role of a business analyst has evolved over the years. So people are now coming into the profession in the past 10, maybe in the last 15 years. Business analysis is not as common as it is now. Is like a specific role within an organization is crafted for a particular people. And those who have chosen the role of a business analyst as a profession, they're well respected because they're regarded as someone who is vast, who is intellectual, who understand the business processes. So the problem that majority of people have that are coming into the business into the role of a business analyst is because they do not have the competency for the role they're applying for. So that brings somebody like myself who's got a knowledge and experience within various organizations who will be able to define different use cases based on the organization you're looking at going. Because if you're looking as a business analyst as a profession, you want to become a professional as a business analyst, you cannot call yourself a business analyst who has a generalized skill set. So for you, Michael, you're coming into the role of a business analyst because you have a banking background, investment banking background, or whatever banking background, or finance discipline. So you understand all the ins and outs of finance industry. You understand the P&L. When I'm talking about account receivable, you understand it. So you want to be business analyst profession who has competency in finance processes and procedures, and you are able to research the discipline and the information that are required within the finance sector. So you can see how everything kind of wrap up and brings together. So the reason why people come together and say they're business analysts and they're coming back and said, oh, they couldn't find a job is when they put their CV out there, they cannot back it up with a specified skills to say, okay, I'm a business analyst within the finance sector. I'm a finance business analyst. I'm an IT business analyst who specialize on digital transformation. You guess you understand where I'm coming from now.
Yep.
Because you've dealt with a lot of business analytics, you've done a lot of work on stakeholders management, but stakeholders management within a specific sector. So when you're coming into the world of business analyst, you're branding yourself as a business analyst within the finance sector because you're competent on anything finance, right? Anything business analytics within the finance, within the banking sector. For example, when I started my career, I started as an investment banking, so I understand. So when you're talking about commodity trading, forex trading, forex foreign exchange transactions, I know ins and out of foreign exchange transactions. So I was able to then gradually move from business analyst within the foreign exchange to credit risk. So I worked on credit risk a lot. You know, credit risk requires a lot of modeling, right? A lot of permutation, Monte Carlo simulations, and all of that. So as a business analyst within the investment banking sector, I could sell myself as a business analyst for Forex, FX business analyst, or commodity trading business analyst, or a credit risk business analyst because I'm competent within that specialized skill set, right?
Got it. Yep.
And I can research. So when I'm coming in as a business analyst, then I can research everything about credit risk. I can go and then research everything about investment banking, foreign exchange. I know how the calculations are done. I know what the modeling, Monte Carlo modeling, if I have to forecast historical numbers. So I understand how to do that. But if I call myself a business analyst, I apply for a role. I apply for a role within the investment banking, and they said, okay, they're specifically looking for someone who understands FX because you can't analyze what you don't know, right? So
Agree.
as a business analyst, you need to understand the sector, the business processes and models that you're coming from. So if you're someone that has that's worked within the logistic industry, so when you're coming to me, I'm going to tailor your skill set around the logistic industry because that is your background. And you know, so when you're selling yourself as a business analyst within the logistic industry because you understand all the processes, you're competent as you're competent within the logistic industry. And then you know all the discipline, you know you research, you understand all the processes and procedures, right? So it everything boils down to the fact that you can't give what you do not have. So a lot of people kind of blab their way through and said, oh, when I get it. But the way the world is now, the I don't know you guys where you work now, but the way the industry, the work environment is now, if you do not know what you're saying or what you're doing, they're quick to find you out. They will throw you in the deep. And if you don't understand what you're doing, the next minute you're out. And that is why training like this is very important, because you need someone to hold your hand. You need someone who understands the processes and procedures that can put you through. And you need someone who understands the research discipline and who is competent at giving you different use cases that you're going to use when you get to that job. When I started my business analysis training, I paid like, I remember paying like almost £2,500 for the training. And when I started, a lot of the question I wanted, I couldn't get anyone to answer. I couldn't get anybody to help me, because what they do is, how they teach you the theoretical aspect of business analysis, and you get to the job, you realize that whatever it is you were taught is completely different to what you're being given. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's exactly how it works. Also, you understand from being a profession as a business analyst, from being competent in a specialized area, right? And being able to understand be able to research within your competency and then bring about the solution. Because you research what you've been given and then you suggest and produce the solution. You're not going to be the one to produce the solution, right? But you'll be speaking to people who will tell you the solution. But if you don't understand what you're saying, there's no way you can write it down. That's just how it works.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so get to the next slide. So what's the role of a business analyst within an organization? So business analyst is a vocation which consists of helping the organization, like I said, to implement a solution, which then goes back to what I was saying earlier on about having a business analyst as a profession, and then you have to be competent, and then you have to be able to research the solution. Okay, so yes, so here, what is the role of a business analyst? Is a vocation which consists of helping organization to implement the solution. Like I used an analogy of the mobile banking solution. Like there was just somebody who sat down, company just woke up one day and said, okay, we want to provide a better solution to our client. We want them to be able to do some basic banking transactions online rather than coming into the bank. So he will ease off the queues that you all normally get in bank, number one. And then the customers as well, we the end client, it will save us time and money for traveling to and from our house to the bank, because we can now do all our basic banking transaction online. So I believe when you go to bank now, you can hardly see people in the bank. I guess that's why you don't really see as many people in the bank as before anymore. And so as a business analyst, you're going to be gathering the requirement, right? You're going to be using various techniques to gather this requirement. You're going to be like a technical analyst or technical requirements. So you're going to look, you don't really, when I talk about technical analyst, about understanding the technical aspect of the requirement, it's always good to have an overview of what the technical requirement is so you can talk about it. I don't expect a business analyst not to understand the technical part of the business solution. So it's always good to have an idea. So when I train people that comes to me, I always had a bit of technicality, at least to understand what the basic SQL is, what is data. You need to know all of those little pieces. Some people, or what is cloud. I put a lot of those things, little bit of those things in my training, which you would not get anywhere, because what people do is just teach you from the book. All the theoretical part, they just teach you from the book. So when you get into the work or you're looking for work, you're not able to back up what you've learned. So you has a system analysis as well. There is no changes that happens within an organization that would not involve either a software change, or is either an upgrade to existing system, or they're changing solutions and they're bringing a new solution to the organization. So usually it's either a digital transformation when company hire you to be a business analyst, or to come and analyze existing systems and look at how we can make the existing processes to be better than what it is now. And then another thing is, as a business analyst as well, you're going to be using a lot of design techniques and different things to do your analysis within the organization. So you need all of this skills to be able to be a successful business analyst. Okay, any question before I go further? Please ask me questions. I want this session to be interactive as much as possible. I don't just want to be talking at you.
Yeah, so I have a couple of questions.
Yeah,
So
that's fine.
we spoke about the skill here, and
Mhm.
does it mean the individual skill is being endorsed by a particular tools? Because uh, uh, what I understand from the definition here, the business an analyst would be gathering and providing a various technique, and individual technique would have a certain tools through which they can determine that could be a resolution or solution, right? So those tool are something fixed, or it is like evolving, or we are adapting a kind of a new tools which is getting introduced in the market.
Yes. So, you know, in the IT world and the business world, nothing is fixed. Right. And organization evolves, they change. They will be using a tool today, and the owner of the tool may come back and said, oh, we're not using this tool anymore. We're phasing it out, or we're upgrading, or another company has bought the tool. So we have to do some transformation. We have to change. And then the new company buying the tool, can we afford the price to continue to use the tool? So there's so many things going on within the organization. So organization changes their tool every time, and different organization will use different tool. So it just evolves. So you as a business analyst just need to be competent and be evolving and be adapting to different changes that happens in the market. And you as a business analyst as well, there are different tools that you need to understand, which is part of everything I'm going to be teaching you if you enroll on the full course as well. Because as a business analyst, you need to know how to use Jira, you need to know how to draw business flows, you need to know what a use case diagram is. You need to know, there's so many things you need to know as a business. And then the another part, the business analyst role, you might get to this organization. Maybe this organization is using Jira board, and then you go to another organization, they might be using Azure board for their user story. So things changes. So as a business analyst, you need to be versatile as well. So
Yeah, so that means we would require a certification in those tools as well. Let's say if
no, you don't need a certification in
okay,
a particular tool, because how many tool are you going to have certification in? Because
correct, yeah, yeah.
the organization just changes their tool. So the only thing you need certification that you need is just like your business analyst certification, maybe like CBAP or diploma in business analysis, which is offered. I don't know what the government body, the certificate body is in Canada, but I know in UK is like BCS. We use BCS as well, so you can get diploma in business analysis and all of that. But yeah, but in
Got it.
terms
Yeah.
of getting a certification in a particular tool, no, you don't need that. You just need to be proficient at using the tool that you need for your work.
Mhm.
But for people that, for example, if we then have, in some cases, if you are coming from investment banking, investment banking use different tools. They have like Murex business analyst, some investment banking tool, so something like Murex or um, so many, I can't remember a lot of those business analysts like Bloomberg and things like that, right? So some organization may said, okay, if you're coming to be a business analyst on Bloomberg because you're well paid, they may say, okay, how well do you know Bloomberg? How well do you know Morex? You understand? But
Yep.
in terms of if you're starting out, all you need to do is just be proficient at one area in terms of the business processes, not the tool. So focus on the business processes, that you understand the business processes, because when you go to an organization, you will not be asked to do anything outside of the business processes. Everything they're going to be doing would align with the company values. And that's why one of the things I teach on the full training is what are the values, what the business, what are the values of the organization you're going for, because you wouldn't be doing anything outside of the values and outside of, because if you're going into a banking sector, you know, the banking sector, what do? You deposit money, they have credit card, you transfer transactions, you make transactions, simple banking transactions. So whatever you're doing within that bank, whatever they're doing that they're employing you to come and do, it would be around some of those banking processes. It could be around the mortgage transaction, mortgage payments, procedures. So you want to know the business processes around that. So yeah. So yeah. So in terms of the business processes of a business analyst in a nutshell, this is, I always use this diagram as well. What skills are required? What skills are required as a business analyst? What do you need? What is requirement? What skills are required? So I'll start from the first one. So in terms of, as a business analyst, the one thing you need to understand is the elicitation and collaboration part. You're going to be speaking to a lot of people. So what do you need? You need to have critical thinking, negotiation, problem solving, and listening skills. Right. And then in terms of the requirement management, because you're going to be writing requirement, we call this requirements engineering, because you're going to be speaking to different people to define requirement. So how do you maintain those requirements? Right? How do you structure the requirement? So once the skills that you need for this, you need to be organized. As a business analyst, you need to be organized. You need to have leadership skills as well, and then you need to have a good analysis skills. So Michael, I know you graduated as a business analyst, so you've done a lot of analysis. You did
Oh
your
no,
dissertation, right? No, no,
I
no.
accounting and finance.
Accounting and finance, yes.
Yeah.
I know you did accounting and finance, so I know you would have a lot of analysis skills. You must have done in terms of posting debit and credit, all of those things, how they work. You will be organized, because by the time you're doing all your P&L and all your balance sheets, you need to be organized to make sure your balance sheet is balanced. So because of the posting, you need to make sure you're posting to the right side. So
Yeah.
you would have done your dissertation as well. So what do you need? You need to be organized. You need to have leadership skills. You need to have analysis skills as well. So that is very, very important. So the management is, how do you manage those requirements that you gather from different stakeholders within the organization, right? So let's move to the requirement communication wheel. So on the requirement communication wheel is when you get all of those requirements from different stakeholders, from different people, right? How do you communicate the requirement to those stakeholders? We call them stakeholders. You know what stakeholders is. Yogesh, I know you'll be familiar with the word stakeholders, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
What is the
stakeholders are more like the people within a department with whom you communicate, with whom you interact, and with whom you identify, like you understand and identify the problem statement or a solution. Those
Okay.
all engagement would call as a stakeholder.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's really good. Yeah, those are the stakeholders. I know, Michael, you may not understand. So one of the things I offer in the full program for business analysis is how you manage your stakeholders, right? And then communicating your requirements to stakeholders, maybe through meetings. How do you schedule meeting? How do you facilitate workshops? What are different types of workshops that you can use to communicate the requirement? And then sometimes you need the flowchart diagram. So part of what I'm going to be doing is training. In the full training is the flowchart diagram. And then you need to build your confidence. And by what I do with building your confidence is for you to have a story, and then how would base your CV around what you've done before, so you can talk about it and you're confident about talking about the process, the procedure. That's why I said competency is very, very important. And part of what I do within the full training is to make sure you're competent to do the job. right? And then we have the requirement modeling. So in the requirement modeling wheel, when you're writing your requirement, you can know that human beings are very visual. When you write a number of text or text word, nobody reads them, right? So how the requirement is done is the modeling part. So how do you produce those requirements? How do you produce those business processes? So that is why you need to understand what data modeling is, business process modeling, and that's part of what I offer in the full training. And then I offer the use case modeling using the business process using the BPMN, that's like a business process modeling, and then you have the UML, and then the gap analysis, the flowchart. So the list is on end. There's a lot of them, and that's part of what I offer in the full training as well. So how to model requirement, how to use flowchart to present your results to the stakeholders, because you're going to be liaising with different stakeholders. You're going to be presenting. You're going to be organizing workshop. You're going to be facilitating workshop. That's the right word. And when you're going for, you don't use the word organize, you facilitate workshop. And then how do you communicate your result with confidence that you really understand what you need to do? So yeah, so business analysis is, in a nutshell, what it means is you're eliciting your requirement, you're collaborating with other team members within the organization, you are defining those requirements, you're managing the requirement that you produced, and then you're modeling those requirements in a graphical format, and then you are communicating the requirement to other people within the organization. And then some organizations, you may be asked to communicate with people who will be building the requirement that you've produced. And then you may be able to partake in other part of the development process, or you may be asked to change the current process, and then we're implementing a new process. You need to communicate those new process to other people that are affected, who the stakeholders are. You need to identify the people and then communicate those changes to those people. So the role of a business analyst is really versatile. It's so because you could be called to partake in any stages of the business developing the system development life cycle process. Right. So so that is what a business analysis is in a nutshell. So before I go further, right, Michael, do you want to tell me what elicitation of requirement is or collaboration?
So so like facilitation, it's basically trying to find a resolution for something, and then trying to I'm not 100% sure, but
Yeah, that's fine. I'll help you.
Yeah.
I'll help you. So elicitation of the requirement is finding what the right solution is. You need to go out and find the right solution. And how do you go out and find the right solution? You need to speak to different people.
Yeah.
And then when it then comes to facilitation, for you to find the right information, you may be required to facilitate the workshops, organize one-to-one meetings with different people, and then speaking to them and asking them the right question. And what is most important with business analysis role is you need to ask the right question. It only takes you to ask one or two questions before they're able to try and understand your level of intellect. Right. So yeah, so elicitation is about going out there to find find information on what the solution is or what you've been asked to do as a business analyst as well. So you guess you want to talk about the requirement modeling?
Yeah, so requirement modeling is more like understanding the problem statement and then identifying the medium or a kind of a platform through which we can mitigate the issues or problem statement.
Yes. So in terms of the modeling of the requirement, it just means that you now understand the requirement, right? You understand where we're going, you understand where we're coming from, right? And you understand what we want to implement, and you're trying to put the solution in a format that everybody would understand. You understand? You need a number of, that's why I was talking about tool earlier on. So for you to do that, you need a number of tool
Yep.
to be able to do that. And then, so in terms of the tool itself, you want to know something about different tool like Jira, because in Jira, you may be required to write a use case there to define the use case diagram. You may be required to write the user stories. You may need to understand Excel formulas sometimes because you may want to pivot data. So some of those things are how you model your requirement. But in the full training, I offer some of those things, some of those information in the full training. So on the full training, you would understand how to elicit requirement, how you, what sort of techniques you need to use to elicit your requirement, and then everything in this four wheel has different techniques to them. And then, so what I have on the full training, in the full training session is how to elicit, how do you manage your requirement? What are the tools that require for you to manage your requirement as well? And then people have been looking at I've been getting a lot of text messages saying, oh, I'm a business analyst. The role of a business analyst is saturated. How can I get a job? I'm not getting a job as a business analyst. But I'm telling you today, that's a lie. You will get a job as a business analyst. This is just the UK data for people who are within the this screenshot was taken in November 2023, so I need to update it. So the average salary of a business analyst is 37,000 to 62K within the UK, depending on your level. And then for you, Gesh, because you already understand some of this thing, you just need a little bit of push to get you there for you to start looking for this role as well. And I know in Canada, business analyst role is a hot cake if you get it right, because
Yep.
it's not common. It's not like PM.
Yep.
I'm not trying to bring down the PM, but the PM, when you talk about so many things, they don't understand it. All they do is chase. All the PM does is just chase, right?
Agree.
So and I hear them coming of filling in deck. They don't understand. So sometimes what they do is they don't even understand the deck they're filling. So you can get the role of a business analyst. And if you are good, believe you me, I've trained a number of people. I trained somebody, if you go on my website, you can see the people that I've trained so far and who has become a successful business analyst. You just need the right guidance, the right information. That's why what you would not get on other training courses, even though they charge ridiculous amount of money, because like I said, I paid over £2,000, 2,500 when I did my business analysis training years ago. I think that was in 2014 or 2015 when I became a business analyst. I paid like 2.5. It was so expensive, and all they did, I was just looking at it, was so theoretical. They didn't tell me that no, you need to be competent in one area. So if you're competent and you have a story to back it up in that area, you will get a job. The last person I trained, who just got a job as a business analyst, he specializes because of his background. I have to tailor him towards the logistic industry, and we build the use cases for him to kick off his career within the business analyst area. And when he got a job, his first job, he got about 4 or 5 roles, and it was about £500 a day role that he got, and it was outside of I-35. So you could do the same. You can get similar job. You just need to put in the work, understand, craft your story, understand where you want to be, and put your mind to it. I know you stand a better chance in the Canada for you to become a successful business analyst because of your background as well.
Yep.
And then people that are saying there are no job, when I get such messages, there are no role as a business analyst, blah blah blah, the market is saturated. I'm always saying no, the market is not saturated. You just need to craft your unique piece and understand. So today I just did some role, and I did some like what are the available business analyst role within the last 7 days. I can see that up to 15,000 role has been analyzed, has been advertised in the last 7 days. So what does that say to you? This is just in the UK actually. So I haven't checked Canada, I haven't checked worldwide. And the good thing about this rule is you can work anywhere in the world. You do not have to. You can get a remote job, a remote role anywhere you are. I've got friends who are working remotely as a business analyst, and they're working for organization in Canada. Some people based in Canada, they're working for organizations that are based in UK. They've never been to UK. Everything was done remotely. So you can get a job depending on what you put your mind to. I know, Michael, you're based in the UK. You can get it. You just need to craft your story. You need to understand what it is. And then part of what I do when you're looking for role is I prepare you for interview as well. I prepare you for an interview so you're prepared to start the work within 4 weeks of training as well. So so yes, I know you were asking Yogesh what certificate you do to get up. So the number of certification here. So we have the CBAP certification, which is a certified business analyst profession, and then you can get the diploma in diploma of business analysis. And what I always advise people, getting the certification is not the ultimate, because majority of the people I have on the call today, you have your degree. You have your degree. Getting the certification is not the ultimate. If it's company don't even look for the certification anymore. So understand it first, understand what you're going into, because what happened, just read a lot of theoretical book. Because I read a lot, you can see I've got so many things, but it's always better to get the knowledge first and then you go for the certification. Like when I wanted to get into the role of an enterprise architect, you can see this book. I bought this book and it just serves as my manual, right? So yeah, because I work as an enterprise architect now. So you just have to know how to craft your story, understand the process, understand the role you're going into, understand what it entails. Once you're able to understand that, and you can then start working towards your certification, because don't rush into certification without understanding, because you have a lot of people, they have a lot of certification, wasted a lot of money on certification. But I'm not saying certification isn't good, because you can see that I have a lot of certification myself, but certification is not a card or a passport to get in a job. The passport to get in a job is being able to understand the job you're going into, prepare your CV, tailor your CV to the role you're going into, and have somebody to guide you along the way. So what do I do? So in terms of in terms of how to kick off your career as a business analyst, I'll teach you the business processes. You can either train with me, and then on the training, I will teach you all the BA tools, and you can learn all the relevant domains. What I mean by the relevant domains is, if you want to be a specialized, if you want to specialize within the hospitality sector, if you want to specialize within the logistics sector, I just train you towards that area, depending on your background. Or if you want to, if you want to specialize in on the basic of business, if you want to understand the basic of business analysis, is always good to invest in yourself as well, because a lot of people they look for the free training. I know, Michael, you've been on Udemy, right? So
Yes.
how has the journey been for you on Udemy?
I would say it's good for teaching someone that doesn't know anything about business analysis, but
Mm.
compared to what you've taught us right now, I wouldn't say it's the best.
Yeah.
But it helps you kind of understand what they do, but it doesn't teach you everything.
Yes, so that's exactly what I'm trying to drive at. You can go online and start learning all of these things, and sometimes some people will say can go on YouTube and learn some of this thing. You'll find that I'm learning on YouTube, just like when I wanted to start off as a security architect or as an enterprise architect myself. I went on YouTube. I was just going through thousands of videos. I do not understand a thing until I took it upon myself. I paid like almost £5,000 to go and learn some of the basic skill around securities, architecture, and all of that before I was able to move into that. So so it's very, very important you invest in yourself, because some of these things, there is no amount of YouTube video you want to watch that will give you all the things you need to know. And then people pulling all those information together, you may get confused along the way because you may not find a certain video that will teach you everything you need to know, or something that will teach you how to be competent in business analysis as well. So yes, so another thing is, once you're competent, what I help with is you create your CV I'll assist with creating your CV as a business analyst as well. And then you can then go ahead and earn all of the BA certifications. So
Sorry, I have one question to do.
yeah, that's fine.
So like the certifications what you mentioned here, these
Mm-hmm.
all are global recognized certification. What I meant to ask is like let's say we have a certification called PMO, right? Project
Mm-hmm.
management. So
Yeah.
you go with that certificate to Australia, you go to Dubai, Canada, US, everywhere it recognizes the same. Does the certification hold the same kind of uh, weightage?
Yes, so it's, so if you want to go this one, something I need to check actually, because for this one in particular, it's mainly the one I chose for the UK, but I'm sure some certification are globally recognized. I believe the BCS is globally recognized, but I have to go back and confirm that, so I don't give you the wrong information, right? But for me, I have CISA. I'm a certified information security auditor that is recognized globally as well. So, but I would check the one that is recognized globally for business analysis, and then I can get that sent to you.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I have a question as well. It's to do with the previous slide with the salaries. So for a starting business analyst, are they able to take contract jobs, the ones that pay per day, or would they need like a lot of experience for that sort of thing?
There are junior business analyst role as well.
Yeah.
And it's possible to kick off as a contractor, because the same issue you would have, or the same heat, let me use the word heat, the same heat you will get as a permanent staff if you're starting like an experienced person, is the same heat you will get as a contract staff as well. So if you build that confidence and you want to go into contracting straight away, it's possible, and it's something I can work towards. I can
Yeah.
work with you on, because my client as well, who just relocated as well from Nigeria. He just came to the country. He said, I want to go into contracts straight away. He said, I don't want to do any permanent. So we were able to model him. And then after the training, and then he's never worked as a business analyst before, but he has a lot of transferable skills that we could use to nurture him towards business analysis. And by the time he went for a couple of interviews we prep him for different interview, a number of iteration or mock interviews, and he was able to get into the contracting market straight away. So it just depends on your confidence, your level of confidence, and how you want to start off. But I always advise people, I don't want to put people down, but I always advise people to start off as a permanent employee, so you understand, because sometimes in permanent employee, they can kind of be patient with you in a while, and some company will send you for training, and after a while you can decide to move on. So it
Okay,
just depends on how confident you are, really.
okay, that makes sense. Yep. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, if you want to go into the full training, in terms of what I offer for the full training, you can either let me know, you can come with me, you can go on the journey with me. So we're starting another full training, the core training, next month for business analysis. So if you want to join, you can join us next month on the business analysis course as well, in terms of what you will get on the business analysis course and the full course, because for people that join today, the professional one is 1299, but for the people those that join today is 599. And then we're going to have 6 Zoom meetings. We're going to create your LinkedIn. We're going to prep you for interview. And after your interview, we will hold your hand until you get a job as well. So I have a number of people who would partake in the training, because I don't like sending people off without them understanding all the core or the competencies that are required in the business analyst role. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to slide in a little bit of Azure, a little bit of cloud information. I'm going to slide in a little bit of technical bit like SQL, which you will not get any on any other training as well. So all the technical bit and competency that are required. I have my client that I told you about. When he got the job, he got a job that requires him to analyze data. So we had to do it like a fast data course after I got the job. And then we had someone he had to analyze a number of things within an HTML file. So I had to get on the call. So it still calls me, they still call me even after they started the job, where they have questions, where they need me to put them through, even after they've gotten the job, and I'm always there. So even after you get a job as a business analyst, I'm still here to mentor and to support you until you're able to stand on your feet as well. So if you, so this is the price if you want to go on the full training for me. Just you can always get in touch with me as well. And then please, I need your feedback as well. So I'm going to put the feedback form on the chat. Please let me know if there's anything you want me to, you think we can improve on the training as well. Please do let me know. Let me hear your views as well. If you're not following me on Instagram or LinkedIn, you can check me out on LinkedIn. If you Google Tutu Shweton, if you put Tutu Shweton on LinkedIn, you can see my information there as well. And then you can follow Dwelling Ortiz on Facebook and on LinkedIn as well. But if you want to go into the full training with myself, it's $599. We have 6 live sessions where I deep down into what business analysis position is, where I give you the full information, all the tools, all the techniques that I require for you to become a successful business analysis. I will provide that, and a little bit of technical aspect of business analysis as well. So when you go for an interview and they ask you technical questions, you're not looking like what they're talking about. Yeah, so that's all about today's session. But if you have any question, you can always reach out to me, or you can send me an email. You can message me on LinkedIn. I always respond to my messages on LinkedIn as well. And so for those that, if you're interested in other training that we provide, like the data governance and the data architecture, you can always message me as well. Those information are available on Eventbrite, so you can always join our classes. Okay, so but if you want to go on the full training, let me know, Peter, let me know, right? So if you want to go on the full training with myself, let me know as well, and we can talk about it as well. So you can put our email on the chat, so you can email info@dwellingatease info@dwellingatease.com if you need to. So Michael, you can reach out to me. Let me know if you want to go on the full training. So the full training would include optimizing your CV, mock interviews, be with you until you get a job, and then you have some live hands-on session as well, where we do live project. We simulate live project. So you build it. So you go through the process of a business analysis. We use different tools, different techniques for building those live projects. So when you get on the job, you'll be able to use some of those tools. So you won't be a novice in any other of those tools. So you'll be able to use like Jira, you'll be able to use Lucidchat or Visio, you'll be able to use Microsoft Project, and then a little bit of Excel training that involve pivoting and some Excel formulas as well. So that is all you would get if you enroll on the full training. So I'm going to say thank you for joining today as well. Okay. So, but if you have further information, you can always reach out to me.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
All
Tutu.
right. It's a pleasure. Nice meeting you. Please follow us on, let me give you, have you filled in the feedback form? Have you completed the feedback form?
I'm currently doing that now.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Michael. And I guess you can complete the feedback form as well.
Yeah,
And if you have any question, you can always reach out as well.
sure.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and have a nice week.
You too.
You
All
too.
right. Yeah,
Bye.
cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.